Yeah, weird little recording in progress notice. So let's get started. So welcome to our Kilimanjaro 2023 information session. We're really excited to welcome you all here this evening. This is our final information session before the registration deadline on the 30th of November. So you're just in time to find out how you could be standing right here next summer. So some quick introductions. I'm Harriet. I am the Communications and Engagement Officer here at Dig Deep, and I'll be taking you through the challenge. So I first got involved with Dig Deep as a fundraiser myself. So that was in my first and second year at university. I climbed Kilimanjaro and then Mount Kenya and raised about £5,500 in the process. And then in my third year, I went on to complete office and remote placements with Dig Deep and now work full-time alongside Simon and Meg, supporting all of our fundraisers on our Kili challenges. So I'll let Simon introduce himself.
Yeah, hi everybody, I'm Simon, I'm the Operations Manager at Dig Deep. So similar story to Harriet, I climbed Kilimanjaro back in 2014 when I was doing my PhD. Then loved it so much, did Mount Kenya the following year, and then joined Dig Deep back in 2017 as a full-time member of staff. So been with them for about 5 years or so now, and then actually did Kilimanjaro again in 2019. So hopefully I'm pretty well placed to be able to tell you all about it. My job in the organisation now is basically to organise these trips for you guys, make sure you have an amazing experience and obviously make sure you kept safe as well along the way. So yeah, looking forward to telling you all about it.
Amazing, thank you. We do also have another special guest with us this evening. So we also have Charlie on the call. So I'll let Charlie introduce himself as well. You should be able to unmute yourself, hopefully.
Hi, my name's Charlie. I climbed Kilimanjaro this August, just gone. Joined up with Dig Deep around 2019, I think it was. Yeah, just here to help answer any questions about the climbing fundraising.
Amazing, thank you, Charlie. So yeah, we'll come back to Charlie a little bit later on in the presentation. But again, if you have any questions about the climb, Charlie has literally just done it, so can answer any questions you may have. So again, pop those in the chat and we'll come back to Charlie a little bit later on. So as you may be aware, we are a charity first and foremost. So we organise our Kilimanjaro challenge all in-house so we can maximise the fund raised to achieve our charitable objectives. So Dig Deep, the charity, was formed back in 2007 by student volunteers, and then we launched our not-for-profit trading arm, Dig Deep Challenges, in 2011. So we were really pleased to have been awarded Charity of the Year at the National Student Fundraising Association Awards in 2021. We were then shortlisted again in 2022 as recognition for our continued efforts in supporting the next generation of fundraisers. So as part of this challenge, you will have a minimum fundraising target of £2,950, and that's so we can achieve a minimum of a 50-50 ratio between a charitable donation to Dig Deep and also your in-country trip costs. So that money can be fully fundraised or part self-funded, and anything you raise above £2,950 goes straight for charity and increases your impact in Kenya. So to start with, let's have a look at what you will be making possible. So we believe every resident in Kenya, including the young children from Chepkaigai Primary School that you can see on screen, have the fundamental right to access clean water, safe toilets and good hygiene. So we focus our work in one region of Kenya, a place called Bomet County in the southwest, which is a beautiful rural county and home to approximately 1 million residents. Across the county, 80% of people do not have access to clean water, safe toilets and good hygiene. But by taking on this Kilimanjaro challenge, your fundraising will enable our team, working in strong partnerships with the local communities and also the county government, to vastly accelerate access to water, sanitation and good hygiene for every resident in Bomet County. And that's done through a variety of different ways. So firstly, by designing and building large-scale water systems, providing thousands with access to clean water every single day, to training households how to construct their own latrines and end open defecation, to developing new rainwater harvesting technologies and school toilets that can withstand the challenges of climate change. And that's alongside developing new school curriculums and community outreach training to bring vital hygiene messages and practices to the next generation. So as I mentioned there, we are working hard in the communities to end open defecation across Bomet County. So going back to the start of 2020, there were no villages in Bomet County that had been declared open defecation free. So what that means is that every household has a toilet and hand washing station. So our team started to initiate a behaviour change programme called Community-Led Total Sanitation. CLTS for short, which provides training to communities on the importance of a toilet and a hand washing station and how those things can reduce the spread of disease and illness, and also deliver training on how they can construct their own latrines at their homes. So by the end of 2021, with thanks to fundraisers who are taking Kilimanjaro challenges, all 100 villages in Endonaibosi ward, which is one of the regions in Bomet County, had been declared open defecation free, meaning that 50,000 people are now better able to protect themselves from viruses and diseases. So this is a historic milestone, an achievement. It's something we're really, really proud of, and the team have worked really hard to deliver on. It has led to a co-funding partnership with the county government of Bomet, where we are going to dramatically scale up this work and reach the remainder of Bomet County together. And ultimately, this is because of supporters like you taking on these challenges and raising vital funds that our team in Kenya has been able to achieve this historic success. And now, with the backing of the county government, our impact can be even greater. So the reality of all of those things combined and rolled into one is that you'll be giving the gift of time. So the less children like Carlos and Mary fall ill, the more time they can spend at school learning and building themselves a brighter future. And the less time people like Joyce fall ill or walking long distances to collect water that's often dirty, the more time they can be at work providing for their families so they can ultimately lift themselves out of poverty. The screen will catch up. So just £50 provides 1,000 litres of clean water storage at a school in Kenya. So you can just imagine the impact that you could have by fundraising and taking on this incredible challenge. So that really is a whistle-stop tour of what we do here at Dig Deep. If you would like to find out more, you can head over to our website or you can ask questions later on the Q&A. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Simon, who gets the exciting part of taking you through the challenge.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks, Harriet. So I'm going to take you through what you're going to experience basically next summer. Obviously, to start off with, I'm going to give you the slightly more boring bit, but obviously the important bit that you're here to find out as well. Obviously, how to get involved to start off with. So to secure your place on the trip, we ask you to pay a registration fee, which is £395 in total. But this is split into two more manageable instalments. So you'll have to pay £195 when you first sign up. So that's when you go to the website after this call and complete the registration form. And then you've got the remaining £200 balance, which is due at the end of January. Now, there are ways in which you can reduce this remaining balance during January. And one of those reasons is by attending this session. So hopefully you've all filled out the form at the start of this call, which will give you a £100 discount. So that'll be emailed to you straight away and be valid for the next 48 hours. So that will then take off £100 off that remaining £200 balance due in January. Now, we also have a refer a friend scheme on offer as well. So this will give you a £100 discount for yourself and a friend for every person that you refer to the challenge. So basically, when you sign up, you receive a unique referral code. You can then pass it on to other friends and family. And if they sign up before the deadline on the 30th of November, then you'll also receive a further £100 for every person you refer. And they will also receive a £100 discount as well. So a great way in which you can only sign up for that initial £195. So moving on to the fundraising target itself. So you've got a £2,950, like Harriet said at the beginning, which is due before the end of, before 15th of June next summer. So she's already gone through in terms of the 50% ratio. So half that money is going to go straight to the charity. And anything you raise above that target as well goes straight to the charity as well. Now, as we're a not-for-profit organising these trips, there is no profit being made by us running these trips for you. So the fundraising target is purely split between either money to the charity to support our work in Kenya, or covering your in-country costs. So that's all those costs listed on the screen there. So everything associated with your climb in terms of all of your support staff, and that's right from hotel staff to your drivers, and obviously your climb crew as well, who we'll talk about a little more later on. You've then got your three-person tents, which is sharing with 2 people, and a sleeping mat all included. All your food and water, along with your entrance to the national park and your hiking permits. And we also have daily medical checks and reporting as well. So we are quite unique in our approach in that we have an expedition medic accompanying your groups. He'll be with you right from the base of the mountain, all the way up to the summit and back down again. So any issues you may experience, you want to have a bit of a checkup, or if you're struggling with altitude, there'll be a qualified medical doctor there to assist you with any sort of medical needs that you need. We've also got in-country travel included, so all of your airport pickup options, and your travel to and from the mountain gate. You've got forward accommodation for a night either side of the challenge, so on your arrival day, and also the day that you can finish the climb itself. And there'll also be Dig Deep support staff around as well. So myself and Harriet will also be there in country, looking after you, making sure you've got a nice friendly face to come with any problems. And we also have another doctor stationed in Moshi as well. So Moshi is the closest town to the base of Kilimanjaro. And there'll be a doctor there around the accommodation. So any issues that you have on arrival or after your climb, you haven't got to go to the private sort of health facilities. We can then send over a doctor for you and look after you and give you an assessment and treat you as well. So all of that is covered within your fundraising target itself. So I'm going to take you through now what you can experience next summer. And before I do, I want to stress that all of these photos in this presentation and videos and everything are from Dig Deep Climbers the last few years. So these are the exact landscapes and sort of scenery that you can experience next summer. So if you didn't already, the trips are taking place next August. And so they fit into sort of university terms in the summer holidays. Your climb will start on one day between the 14th of August and the 28th of August. So we have numerous different groups going out. And we will allocate people to groups once registrations close on the 30th of November. And in the first couple of weeks of December, then we will send out your confirmed trip dates along with your recommended flight options. If you're looking at those dates and thinking I can't do sort of late August, I have to be back for a certain time in September, for example, it's entirely flexible. If the dates that you get given don't work or anything like that, just pop me an email. We can try and work out sort of a different group for you. So you can move between the groups if you know that particular day can't work for you. So if you didn't know already, Kilimanjaro is the highest freestanding mountain in the world. It stands at just under 6,000 meters in height, and it's also the highest point of the whole continent of Africa. So it's known as the roof of Africa. Now you'll be taking on the Machame route, which is a 6-day climb. It takes 4.5 days to get to the top and 1.5 days to get back down again. And you'll be starting day one in this nice, luscious rainforest. There'll be lots of native plants and flowers, all only found in Kilimanjaro National Park, which the guys were pointing out to you. And there'll also be some monkeys jumping around the trees as well. So real sort of overwhelming atmosphere in terms of the sort of nature straight from the first day. Now, the great thing about Kilimanjaro is every day is a completely unique experience because you're traveling through lots of different ecological zones as you go along. So just a couple of hours into day two, you'll have exited the rainforest. You'll be well above the clouds already. And this is when the sort of amazing views just start to begin. And you can see how the landscape changes from day to day, all the way up to the glacial zone at the summit. At the end of each day, you will arrive at your campsites. They're huge campsites across the side of the mountain landscape. You'll be sharing these with not just your group, but obviously all the people who are climbing on the mountain itself. Now, you do not need to worry about setting up your tent each day, and we're even carrying all of your equipment. So we have an amazing team of porters who will shoot off ahead. They'll be carrying your sort of main trekking bag and all of the equipment that you need for camp. So then by the time you arrive there after your day of walking, all this will be set up for you and you can just relax and enjoy the incredible sunsets you can see here. These chefs will also be preparing some amazing food for you. So you get 3 freshly cooked meals a day on the mountain, and you'll be amazed at what food you'll be receiving on every day of the mountain. They can cater for all dietary requirements and they're ready to sort of keep you fueled along the way. There's really no better way to sort of sit back and enjoy these incredible views at the campsites at the end of each day of walking. Now, the Machame route itself is also one of the most popular routes because it allows you to acclimatise as you go. So on day 3, you've got a dedicated acclimatisation day, which means you'll go up to a place called Lava Tower, and which you can see in the picture here, where you'll stop and have some lunch, and you descend back down to sleep at a lower altitude at Bomet Camp. Now, this short exposure to sort of higher altitude really helps to sort of prepare your body for what is to come, and it helps to increase your summit success rate. But it also gives you the chance to tackle the Barranco Wall. Now, it sounds scary, it's definitely not. It's everyone's favourite day because it gives you the chance to have a bit of a scramble at the side of a wall. And then when you get to the top of the wall, you get these absolutely amazing views. You'll be standing well above the clouds, you'll be looking down at the tiny little tents where you've just come from, and you'll also see the curvature of the earth at this point as well, which you won't believe me, but until you get there, you will definitely sort of cherish this moment forever. It's a great moment to have some great team photos, classic jumping shot, which you see on some of the images before. And yeah, definitely one of those moments that you will remember forever. You'll then be on to these incredible night skies. So photos that you can get on Kilimanjaro really do sort of last a lifetime. And obviously the night skies are something super special. There are no clouds obstructing your view of the night sky, so you'll get incredible views of the whole Milky Way, shooting stars, the lot. So any budding photographers out there, I definitely challenge you to try and take some better photos than these ones you've got here, but it'd be a tough job, I'm sure. And then you'll be on to summit night. So summit night is actually extra special because it allows you actually start your climb in the middle of the night. So you'll get up around sort of midnight to 1 a.m. You'll exit your tent, you'll put on all the clothes that you own because it'll be freezing, and you'll start to follow your head guide and a line of head torches towards the summit. After around 6 hours or so, the sun will start to rise, and then you'll actually start to see the landscape that you're standing beneath. It's otherworldly at this moment, but you'll also be feeling absolutely exhausted, as you can see on the screen here from Paige. So I'm not going to lie, this will be probably the most challenging part of your climb and also probably of your life. You do not need, though, to be a super keen athlete and have loads of hiking experience to complete this challenge. It's as much a mental challenge as a physical challenge. So you just need that inner belief and drive that you can and will make it to the top. But we also have a really unique approach in that we have a 1-to-1 ratio of every climber. There'll be one climb support crew member with you on summit night. So at that point in the climb where you're finding it most challenging, need a bit of extra help and just sort of someone there to look after you, your dedicated crew member walking with you every step of the way. And this really does reflect back in our summit success rate. So over 10 years we've been doing this, over 90% of people have reached the summit with us on these trips. And just this summer we had 300 people climbing and 94% of them reached the top. So it's well above the average of this route. So this truly can be you, stood at the top of Kilimanjaro. Sorry, I've gone too many slides. There we go. I've gone back to back. There we go. So this will be you, stood at the top of the highest free flowing mountain in the world. And you'll be sharing this moment with an incredible team of people. So not just your own climb group, where you'll be gone through the sort of tough moments with, but you'll also have your support crew who'll become great friends along the way. And sharing this moment at the top is just extra special. It's hard to put into words, which is obviously pretty difficult because I'm trying to do this right now. But it'll be a mixture of all different emotions, from pure elation to relief and exhaustion and fatigue. But it's something that sticks in your mind. I can still visibly sort of remember walking up and touching the sign to make sure I wasn't hallucinating and making sure I was there and actually made it. And yeah, that really does stick with you. So something you're definitely going to remember forever when you sort of have that moment. But we've been doing this, like I said, for over 10 years now, and we know, they've come to realise, and you will as well, that it is the local ground staff, the people that you meet along the way, right from the hotel, but also the main people, the people who are on the climb with you, looking after you. So your porters, your guides, your cooks, all of these people sort of make your experience what it is. Now, we're super lucky and fortunate that we work with two incredible long-term partners who are two of the best in the business in African Scenic Safaris and Trek to Kili. I'd urge you to go to TripAdvisor, look up their reviews and see what incredible companies they are. We've been working with them since 2015. And yeah, I'd urge you to sort of check them out, and you'll hear a little bit more from Charlie, I'm sure, about sort of how amazing these guys are. I want to sort of bring to your attention, though, that there is a history of exploitation of mountain crew, particularly porters on Kilimanjaro, where they're not being paid a fair wage, they're not being treated fairly, not being given the right equipment, or being asked to carry too much equipment. Now, we don't want to run these trips if anyone is adversely affected by us doing so. So the reason why we work with African Scenic Safaris and Trek to Kili is because they are KPAP approved partners for responsible travel. Now, KPAP are a local NGO who are based in Moshi, and they're effectively fighting for the fair and ethical treatment of porters to make sure that companies adhere to good standards of treatment. And they rate companies on their sort of ethical nature and how they look after their crew. And African Scenic Safaris and Trek to Kili are two of the best in the business and rated highest by KPAP. So you can be sure that your crews are properly looked after. But I just want to bring it to your attention, whether you climb Kilimanjaro with us or in the future with a different company, please make sure that you only climb with a KPAP approved partner, because it's the only way we're going to eradicate this sort of unethical and exploitation of porters. Back onto the good stuff. You're going to be climbing with two approved partners, so your crew are going to be absolutely incredible. You'll have roughly sort of 3 crew members to every one of you. So you can imagine the size of the team. When you're in a climb group of around sort of 20, 25 people, there'll be around sort of 75 people plus looking after you on your trip. And these are made up from porters who will be carrying all your equipment and setting your camps, your chefs preparing some amazing food, and then your guides who will be with you every step of the way. Now, these are mountain leaders with years of experience, qualified mountain guides who have taken thousands of climbers just like you to the summit of Kilimanjaro every year. You can see the amazing experience they give you. There'll be so much celebrating and looking after you along the way. And as I said, this is what makes your experience what it is. So it is customary to tip your crew after your climb. and we follow CAPER's recommendations of $150 to $180 per person. Now that sounds like a lot, but like I said, there are 3 of them for every one of you. And what it sounds like a lot now, when you get up there and you see what the crew do for you, there's never any complaints about tipping this amount, and many people tip above that. So we organise a tipping ceremony at the end, which you can see here, and where it gives you the chance to literally say thank you to every crew member. And it's a perfect way to sort of bid farewell to your crew and thank them for everything they did. So I spoke a little bit. I'm just going to have a brief pause and let some of the climbers, just like Charlie, we recorded some information of them when they came down from the climb and put it onto our TikTok channel. So I'm going to play a little bit of a video now for you to listen to and sort of hear what they had to say.
Kilimanjaro is probably one of the best things I've ever done. I really do the presentation for going out of the water.
And it was just breathtaking. It was very, very challenging, but also very worthwhile. And it was at the end of it, one of the best experiences, the best part of my life.
Probably one of the fondest things I've ever done. Again,
Pretty fun, but an amazing experience. I really
one of the best experiences you'll have. The porters help in so many different ways.
It's got 1,000 kilos. Thank you to the porters, the guys, everyone who got us up there. It's no way we could have done it without you, and I'm so grateful.
it was so good. I can't recommend it enough. It's really incredible.
So I hope you could hear that video. I don't know, it was a little bit dodgy on my end. So if you didn't, please just head over to our TikTok channel. You can hear all the videos. You can see a real great summary of what the trip's got up to this year. So you can see exactly what you can experience next year. But we'll hear obviously more from Charlie at the end as well. So don't worry, we'll hear plenty of stories from Shane from him, I'm sure. But the great thing is, this doesn't have to be the end of your experience either. So the suppliers also organise some amazing packages to add onto your trip. And these can be experiencing a true African safari, like you can see in the pictures here. Our groups tend to go to Tarangire National Park, which is basically the home of elephants. Thousands of elephants in the national park, but you can also see the big 5 as well. You can then go on to Zanzibar afterwards, which is effectively island paradise. You can see the crystal clear blue waters. The hotel at the top right is Palumbo Reef, which is where the groups stay. This is a 4-star resort, stunning place, amazing food, great place to just chill out and relax. But you can also go on some excursions. So you can go swimming with dolphins, you can go snorkeling, scuba diving, you can go on boat trips and enjoy the incredible seafood. And there's also a place called Prison Island, where there's a giant tortoise sanctuary where you can get up close to the animals as well. So a really great way to sort of round off your whole experience in East Africa before you head home and to add on to the end of your trip. Now, we're not involved in the organisation of these trips. These are purely put on by our partner suppliers. And instead of me telling you about them, we've got a short little video from the supplier to introduce themselves. So hopefully this one does play quite well. Harriet, can you, oh, hang on, I've got it now. There we go.
This is Team Dig Dig Tanzania.
Yeah. Welcome you all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Simbo Natai, Managing Director of African Scenic Safaris.
My name is Isa. I'm the founder and owner at Trek to Kili Company Limited. I Trek to Kili and Africa Scenic, we are both partners with Dig Dig for all your climbs and safaris as well here in Tanzania.
Yes, we are looking forward to welcome you to Tanzania and make sure you're going to have the best time over here. We are the one to organize your Kilimanjaro climbs and make sure you have the best local support for all your treks and organizing all your accommodation and transport as well. We are both K-PAP approved companies with local and ground support, and we are looking forward to welcome you to Tanzania.
Tanzania is so beautiful, and we want you guys to enjoy from Kilimanjaro climb, go on safari, culture tourism, as well as Zanzibar. We are here for you.
If you want to do something different, we are able to tailor-made any kind of packages. So what you need to do is just ask.
We thank you very much all for choosing Dig Deep, Africa Scenic, and Trek to Kili. We are very, very happy to welcome you here so we can enjoy more of our country in Tanzania. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, nice introduction of the kind of people that Tanzanians are. If you haven't been there before, they are some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. And Simbo and Isa really run some incredible companies, really look after you, couldn't do enough for you. And two of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. So yeah, me and Harriet spent a good month with them this summer, and you can't wait to go back again next year to see them again. So these are the package costs for next year. So they have two of the sort of most popular trips, so 2 day safari and then 5 days in Zanzibar, like I said, and then also the 7 days in Zanzibar. Different prices depending on the sort of group size. So like I said, there'll be roughly around sort of 20, 25 people in your climb group. So if there's 10 of you within that climb group, you then go on the trip, that'll be the price. If there's 5 to 10 of you, that'll be the price there as well. As they mentioned in the video, so they also can organize some different sort of more bespoke trips for you. All you have to do is get in touch with them. I'll send a link to their websites once I've just finished the presentation here, so in the Q&A, so you can go and have a look on their websites and see exactly what the packages sort of entail. So you can have a look at that. And you also see some of the more bespoke options on there as well. So there are sort of like a 4-day safari, for example, in Serengeti. And there's also sort of the little options, like day trips around Moshi as well. So lots of different things that you can do and sort of after your trip, depending on your budget and time you've got off work, for example. In all of these cases, though, you do not need to pay this money up front. So it's purely a $200 deposit to secure your place, which they ask for before the end of May. Then the remaining balance of the package is not due until you're in country in Tanzania. So you pay that direct to them the day before you climb. So that's the extension travel, a great way to sort of round off your experience. And I know Charlie did that, so he could potentially sort of give you some insight in terms of how he experienced that as well. Just before I sort of round off, there's a couple of other travel costs that you should be aware of. So you may already sort of understand that the flights are not including your fundraising target. We'll leave these separate so you can book ones which work for you. Otherwise, I'll just sort of book group flights for you all. And we do release some recommended options. So we're partnered with trail finders who can give you some great value options. So all you have to do is contact those. We'll give you the contact details when we release your trip dates. And then you can sort of find out the best value flights for you from your own location and obviously when you want to leave and come back. At the region at the moment, they're around sort of £1,000 and we are going to come down a little bit, but unfortunately around sort of £1,000 at the moment to sort of put into your budget. And then other sort of standard travel costs to be aware of are the travel insurance. We can also get through trail finders and give you a bit of a discount for a sort of flights and travel insurance package. Your visas to get to Tanzania, and any sort of vaccinations that you may require as well, which you see your GP for. In terms of sort of kit and everything like that, which I'm sure you're sort of are worried about or thinking about, head onto our website. There's a whole pre-departure information section where you'll find a full kit list and also the suppliers offering amazing sort of kit hire service for you as well. So you can look at all of those things that you sort of may sort of want to buy or look at and get all the information that you need. So before I hand back to Harry to go through sort of fundraising section, we completely understand that you're trying to plan around sort of, for August next summer, and things do change. And so we do our best to make it as flexible as possible to give you the best chance if anything does change. So to start off with, we have a 14-day calling off period. So if you sign up in the next couple of days, you've then got 14 days to sort of change your mind and you get a full refund of your registration fees. It is not refundable after those 14 days. So you've got that sort of calling off period. If you do need to change your mind, if anything pops up, you can get a full refund of the registration fees there. We then also have our free deferral assurance, which is active throughout the whole rest of the year. And this basically means that you can choose to move your trip to the following year for any reason, and you not be charged for doing so, as long as you do so before the end of the 15th of June, which is the final fundraising deadline. At this stage, all your fundraising ability will carry over, so you not have a change in fundraising target. All the money you fundraise at that point will move over, and we'll just move your fundraising deadlines in line with your new trip date. So just that sort of safety net that if anything does change, if you get a placement or anything like that, you can simply just move your trip to the following year, and there'll be no extra additional charge for you to do so. So that's enough from me. I will now hand back to Harriet, who will take you through the fundraising support section.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, so it is natural to be a little bit apprehensive about fundraising. We appreciate that is a big target, especially if you've not fundraised before. But trust us, it can and it should be a lot of fun. So we don't sit back and let you figure it out for yourself. We are here to support you every step of the way. So we pride ourselves on the comprehensive fundraising support that we offer to our fundraisers, and our Charity of the Year award reflects us as being one of the best in the sector. We are committed to maintaining these high standards, as ultimately the better our fundraisers are supported, the more funds are raised for our charitable objectives, and the better experience our fundraisers have. So everyone's a winner kind of when we're all working towards the same goal. So you don't have to be an experienced fundraiser to succeed in this challenge. In fact, most of our participants, for them, this is their first experience of fundraising, so you won't be alone in that. So ultimately, it's all about utilising us and your resources and then getting out and doing things that you enjoy for fundraising. So you do need to put some time and effort into it, but this will be one of the best things kind of outside of work and your degree that you can take on. You learn tons of transferable skills along the way in things like event management, marketing, sales, networking. It's kind of the perfect way to develop your self-confidence, meet lots of new people and boost your employability as well. So to get you started, as soon as you register, we'll get you booked in for a one-to-one call to get a plan together of how you want to approach the year and have a general chat about the challenge that you are taking on. So then each month we have a schedule of support that begins with our fundraising newsletter. That includes kind of curated monthly fundraising ideas and dates for your diary. And then we explore these a bit more on our social media channels as well. So you will be given a point of contact at Dig Deep, our colleague Meg, who will have their calendar open to book in calls or arrange catch-ups. All you have to do is pop us a message and we'll be happy to answer any questions and come up with a plan to reach your fundraising targets. You may be fed up by the sound of our voices by the end of the year, but you'll have reached your target and you'll be on your way to Tanzania, so that's absolutely fine. I don't like that Charlie's smirking like that. So you will also have access to extensive fundraising resources and campaigns too. So this includes our virtual fundraising resources website, a webinar series, a blog and monthly challenges drop-ins as well. So as a charity, we do offer the opportunity for you to get involved in other events as well, such as our Kilometers for Kenya challenge, the Big Give, Skydives and Tough Mudder and many, many more. So you can do all of those things to contribute to your overall Kilimanjaro fundraising target as well. So when you join this challenge, you become part of a massive family of Dig Deep climbers past and present. So not only will you have myself, Simon and Meg here at Dig Deep, you will also have a trained team leader, your teammates, and also access to over 10 years of alumni challenges where you can gain inspiration and share ideas too. So each month we have our instalment of our Confessions of a Fundraiser blog, where we welcome current team members and past climbers as well to reflect on their fundraising. So if they've hosted a certain event that's gone well, or just talk a bit more about the experience they've had taking on the challenge themselves. So there's loads of places and avenues for you to get support and inspiration for your own journey too. So to give you a bit of an indication of how everybody fundraises in completely different ways and at different speeds, I just wanted to introduce you to a number of fundraisers who have done a range of different things to reach their targets. So to start with, I just wanted to introduce you to Louis and Anton from the Warwick team. So they went down a physical fundraising route. They hosted a charity football tournament, and they actually reached out to their local Cafe Nero and Pizza Express to gain sponsorship and support. So that was a really good way to harness businesses for your own fundraising, to cover overheads and then raise as much as possible from the tournament too. We then have Lewis from the Strathclyde team. So he also went down the physical route, but slightly differently. He chose to run the height of Kili each day throughout February this year. Unfortunately, he did get COVID in the middle of that, so it had to change to running the height of Kili in his own garden, as he obviously wasn't allowed to leave. But he continued to do that and he powered through. It was a great training opportunity and also generated donations from friends and family as well. We then have Jack and Rory from the Lancaster team. They combined forces to host some of the most impressive quiz nights in the history of quiz nights. So they raised over £800 from their first event and then duplicated that again. So it was lovely to see them kind of come together, promote on social media, get their local community involved, and do that 3 times. It was amazing and they worked so hard on it. It was great to see that come together. And then last but not least is Jasmine from our Royal Holloway team. So Jasmine did a lot of her fundraising through COVID, so had to adapt quite a lot. And one of her most successful events was actually doing clothes drives. So she asked for donations from friends and family, and then resold those on various platforms. So during COVID, that was through things like Facebook, Depop. I think she was on eBay as well at one point. And then when COVID restrictions lifted, she started doing those in person. So that was a really great way to make sure there was no waste, and she was using people's pre-loved items as well. So that was great to see. So I hope those 4 examples just show you that your approach to fundraising will be completely tailored to you, your hobbies, your interests and your passions. So all of those things sound lovely, but the reality is sometimes fundraising doesn't go to plan. It may be a little bit disheartening at the time, but it's really, really important to remember that every pound that you raise has a massive, massive impact. So it costs just £80 to paint a latrine block with talking walls with important hygiene messages at a school in Kenya. So we know that every single person who's interested in taking on this challenge can reach their fundraising targets. Like I said on that side, everyone will do this in different ways. And I also think it's a real motivation to remember just what your money will be making possible in Kenya. So that is enough for me. We will, welcome Charlie back. So Charlie, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit and then we'll have some questions for you as well. So if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat box now.
Hi. Yes, I completed the climb in August, beginning of September, I think it was, of this year. And I think going into it, wasn't quite sure what to expect. I knew it was going to be tough. But the people that you're with, the team that you climb with are amazing. You kind of make some quite strong bonds quite quickly. And I'd also say with your guides and porters, you'll become best friends with them for those 6.5 days that you're up there. Listen to everything that they say. Like the guys have said, they've been doing it for years. They know how it works. Yeah, if they say to slow down, you slow down. Yeah, those guys are brilliant. What to expect kind of through the days. They are long days, but I think when you're talking and just chatting and having a good time on the walk, the time does kind of go quite quickly. Everyone's there kind of cheering each other on throughout the whole climb. Even on the summit night, you know, you're very, very tired at that point. And everyone is pushing each other. And it's quite something when you come back down the next day. It's, yeah, coming back to reality it's quite odd, but an amazing experience. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else.
Tell you what, we can throw some questions at you if you want.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Amazing. So if you had to, you obviously said there like the days are quite long, but you're speaking to people, it makes time go fast. But if you had to pick a favorite moment or memory from your time on the mountain, what would you?
Oh God. Oh, that's tough. I would say probably summit night is your favorite night. I think for me it was anyway, because you've been building up for kind of 4 days to get to the top, and then when it's there, everyone's really excited to do it. And yeah, everyone's in a good mood, tired but in a good mood. So yeah, I'd say that's favorite.
Amazing. I don't know if the answer to this one will be the same as that, but what was the hardest part?
Oh, that's tough. Probably the same, actually. Yeah, probably the same. It's not a walk in the park, is all I'm going to say. Physically, it's not a massive demand, but the altitude does take it out of you quite a bit. It's kind of like breathing through a straw. That's the best way to describe it. But you guys will be fine. You'll have no issues.
Amazing, great. If you could give advice for like the best bit of kit you took with you, or like item you took with you on the mountain, what would you say everyone should take with them?
A good pair of boots. That's probably the biggest bit of advice I could give. Invest in your boots. They are going to save you a lot of pain, and make sure you break them in before you go. We had a couple of people on our group that bought boots and they didn't wear them before they went. And yeah, I think the first couple of days were a little bit painful for them, a lot of blisters. So yeah, good pair of boots. No.
I've got a list of questions here. I'm just going to fire them at you, Charlie. With your fundraisers, so going back just before the climb, when you signed up to the challenge and kind of got involved, did you know anyone? Did you sign up as a group? Did you sign up as an individual? How did you?
So I signed up as an individual to start off with. There was an old school friend. He was hosting a bit of a charity night. I think it was at a local pub, and he'd invited me down and explained that they were with Dig Deep and what they were doing. And they'd mentioned that they've got one more space on their team, and kind of managed to talk me into signing up, strangely enough. So yeah, that's kind of how I got involved.
Amazing. So yeah, it's just, we have a lot of people who kind of join the challenge maybe as an individual who don't know anyone before they necessarily actually start the climb, and that can make them a bit nervous. But I signed up on my own, and I found that as soon as I got on the mountain, I was absolutely fine. So I imagine it was the same as soon as you got on the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's weird how much you share with a group of people you only know for 24 hours, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys get very comfortable with each other very quickly. Yeah, you can't force to, but it's good. It's good fun.
Okay, I have got a question that's come through. I mean, Simon, I can take this one as well, but someone has asked, what is the toilet situation on the mountain?
Can we start on, Charlie?
Yeah, you go for it. You go for it.
So there are what they're called long drop toilets. So pit latrines at each camp. So they're not your standard Western toilet with a toilet seat, I'm afraid, but they definitely do the job. So you get very comfortable at squatting over the latrines. But they're all stationed at each camp. So yeah, absolutely fine. If you need to go to the toilet in between camp, it's basically you find a rock or a tree. So get a one with nature, I'd say, is what you need to do on this trip. But yeah, you kind of think before you get out there, I don't know if it's the same for you, Charlie, that that's something you're sort of worried about, but everyone's in the same boat. There's a huge group of you, and like you say, the inhibitions definitely disappear and you start sharing and oversharing with your team very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, yeah, they're not what you expect, I think, when you first go out, but you do get used to what they are. And to be fair, they're better than what I was expecting them to be. Before I went out, I wasn't quite sure what the situation was going to be like, but yeah, you'll get comfortable with them.
Amazing. We also have had a question, and again for you, Charlie, you're more popular than me and Simon this evening. But did you do the extension package? If so, which ones did you do, and would you recommend it?
Yeah, so I did the 7 days in Zanzibar. Unfortunately for me, I think there was only a couple of us that did it, so there was a slight change in kind of transfers getting over there. But you get up very early in the morning. If you transfer, I think we got up around about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And you have like a long drive through the night, which, to be fair, everyone slept through, so it wasn't too bad. You have a brief kind of stop for breakfast, hop onto the ferry, and then across. And yeah, and the hotel that we stayed in was really good. All the staff were really friendly, very approachable, and would do anything to try and help us. And yeah, in some of the day trips that we did as well were actually really good. I think myself and a few others went and did snorkeling with dolphins and turtles. That was a good day. And I think there's a couple of others that went into the towns and had a look around as well. Yeah, no, it's really good. Definitely worth doing, especially after the climb.
Good way to just chill out and yeah, relax. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't do very much, do you really? One day is probably enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon, have you had any questions? I don't want to bombard with mine, but
I haven't got any more, no.
okay,
They must have all gone to you instead.
That's fine. I like this. Simon, can you just confirm again the provisional climb window for next summer?
Yes, so between the 14th and the 28th of August is when your climb will start. So there'll be multiple dates within that. So first climb, say like the 16th of August, and then staggered by 3 to 4 days within that window.
Amazing. This might be a question off the top of your head. I can't remember it exactly, but how far do you walk and how much altitude do you gain each day?
So it's 40 miles in total over the 6 days. So in terms of, obviously, like Charlie said, the physical side, you're not walking huge distances because you are walking very slowly. you can actually potentially see the distances on there, on the actual sign itself, which does help. So you start off, so this is the gate where you start at Matano Gate. So you're already at an elevation of 1,800. If I can remember correctly, by the end of day one, you've gained around 1,000.
Yeah.
And then you go up, like on day 3, to Lava Tower, which is 4,600 for the acclimatization day. But then you go back down to 3,900, just underneath 4,000. And then you go back up to 4,600. So you're looking at around sort of 1,000 on the first day. And then it kind of going up and down for the rest. So it's not as if you're just going straight up 1,000, but yeah, you're walking at a very slow pace. The route is purposely for that, so that you acclimatize, you go up, you go down, and then you're taking it at a very slow pace so that you acclimatize as you go. And yeah, our success rate, like I said, is over 90%. So it's entirely achievable if you listen to the guys, like Charlie said. Take it slow, make sure you keep eating and drinking, and that's the best way to sort of cope with the altitude as you go.
Following on from that, Charlie, how did you adapt? How difficult did you find the adjustment to altitude, or were you okay?
I was okay in the first few days. So kind of day 1, it's not too bad. You don't really feel the effects of the altitude. Second day and third day, you can definitely tell that your breathing becomes a little bit harder. I know a lot of people in my group started to feel kind of headaches and nausea on those days, which we were told is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe it was day 4 and 5 and kind of summit night. That's when it gets tough. Just kind of walking does become quite a chore. It's quite hard work, especially on summit night. But that's, the altitude, you're looking at 5,000 meters plus by that point. So the oxygen is a lot thinner, and you'll definitely be able to tell. But it's kind of harder to breathe. But you're moving at a slow pace, so it's not unmanageable. Yeah, just take it steady. Listen to your guides. They'll literally walk you through it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another one of my questions. We have gone, but I promise I'm asking some questions as well. I saw you smiling, Charlie, at the video that Simon showed of the celebration with the crew after your climb, which is something that everyone experiences once they've climbed. There's an opportunity to thank their crew. How did you find that celebration? Because we love those.
It's really nice because you've kind of finished the big climb and you come down and you kind of everyone's together, just having a good time and kind of talking about the experiences and moments that you've just had over the past 6 days, and to be able to kind of sit down with the porters and the guides as well and just talk without thinking you've got to get up and start walking again. Yeah, it's really nice, and to see all of them again in some of those videos, it brings back some good memories.
Amazing, lovely. So someone has asked, can I sign up with a friend who's at a different university? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to be at university to join the challenge either. So if you have a friend elsewhere, just make sure you join the same team so you're on the same climb dates. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. You sign up from wherever. Nice. Simon, any other questions?
I don't think so, no. I think I haven't got any more. Yeah, nothing's come through to me, unless you have anything. Last chance, guys. Get your questions in if there's anything you'd like to ask any of us or Charlie.
If not, Charlie, what would you say to those people thinking about signing up?
What would I say? Do it. It's quite daunting when you first start, but once you get into it, it is amazing. Yeah, don't let any of what I've said put you off. It's probably one of the best things that I've done. You'll make some great friends, and yeah, just the whole experience is amazing. And it's definitely given me a few stories to tell when I came back.
have you managed to get the mountain scale off of all of your hiking gear yet?
No, strangely enough, I actually pulled some of my clothing out the other day that I took with me, and it's still got dust and sand on, and it has been washed.
Amazing. I was going to say, you look nice and clean and presentable in this picture, but it's because you look before you'd started the actual climb. We should have had a before and after. Amazing. Okay, well, thank you very much, Charlie.
No worries.
If anyone does have any questions that they also want to ask Charlie, then direct them to me and Simon, and we can pass those on as well. I'll put this up for you. So if you haven't already filled out your £100 discount code, then please do. We'll post the link again in the chat, or follow the QR code on screen. That code is valid for 48 hours and will give you £100 off of your remaining balance of registration fees. If you do have any questions, like I say, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. There's no stupid questions at all. So you can email us on support@digdeep.org.uk, or if you were on the Facebook event, then me and Simon are both co-hosts of that. And as I say, if you have any questions, email them through and I will pass them on to Charlie and get back to you. But please do, let us know if there is anything. But if not, we really look forward to welcoming lots of you to the team and getting you out to Tanzania next summer. So thank you for coming along and have a good evening.
Thank you, guys.